Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm so glad that you guys took out the time to be able to watch me on another great video. So my name is Living, L to the IVING for most of you that don't know, and I am a money coach. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I have been wanting to talk about for a really long time. And I believe that this video is going to be able to help so many people out because I'm going to be providing a list of different things that I did to be able to get me to the place that I am currently financially. And today's video is going to be on how I went from not being able to afford a $20 meal to be able to afford $1,020 meals if I really wanted to. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So the very first thing that you have to do, and I had to do to be able to get to the place that I am currently financially, in a place where I am able to afford $1,020 meals if I really wanted to, was getting a consistent source of income. Now, it doesn't matter if it is a 9-to-5 job or if it's a business that you're willing to start on your own, but just being able to have a consistent source of income is something that it's so important. If you do not have a consistent source of income, then you're not going to be able to implement the rest of the advice that I'm going to give in this video. Now, let's say you do get a 9-to-5 job, you don't necessarily need to be making so much money. So for transparency, the job that I personally had that was able to get me to this point that I am financially wasn't a job that was paying me six figures. It was a job that was basically paying me the median wage of any new graduate in Canada, which is between $40,000 to $60,000 a year. Now, you don't necessarily need to get a 9-to-5 job if that's not the route that you want to take. But if you're someone that wants to take a different route, then you can start a business. It might probably take you longer to be able to get that consistent base of income, but it's a journey nonetheless. And if you're someone that wants to start a business but don't necessarily know what type of business you want to start, then I recommend this book. And the book is called $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. The book is basically like a step-by-step guide on the things that you have to do. Now, if you're someone that you're not ready to take practical steps to actually actualize the type of business that you want for yourself to be able to create the financial stability that you really want, then don't buy the book. This book is for people that are serious on what they really want to achieve financially. So the very first thing that I had to do, and you probably have to do, is getting a consistent source of income. Talking about creating a consistent source of income, are you someone that wants to start a business, but you don't necessarily know what type of business you start? I would recommend signing up for the YP membership. That is the Young and Purposeful membership. This membership is basically a step-by-step guide on the things that you need to do to be able to start a successful business and be able to build passive income. I personally am a testament to this program, but if you're someone who is a bit skeptical and you're not necessarily sure, then you also have the opportunity to sign up for a free consultation with a business strategist to be able to find out if this program is the right fit for you. Now back to the video. Now on to number 2. The next thing that you have to do the moment you have a consistent income is living on less than you make. There are so many people that for some reason they feel like the moment their income increases, then they have to also increase their lifestyle. And no, that's not the route that you want to take if you're someone that wants to create the level of wealth that you really want to have. The biggest expense that most people would make is rent cost and cost that involves a vehicle. Now, as someone that wants to move from a lower level of financial status to a higher level of financial status, you need to understand this concept. You need to understand the concept of living on less than you make. This financial journey isn't have whatever you want whenever you like it. No, there has to be some level of discipline if you're someone that actually wants to get to the place that you want financially. Personally, I knew that if I got a car, that would be crazy big expenses for me. And I wasn't in a place where I was getting paid huge sums of money, like maybe six figures a year, to be able to make a huge purchase like a car and make those payments every month. So what did I do? I just decided not to get a car. The bus transit here is pretty good, and I'm able to get to any place that I want to within a reasonable amount of time. Another thing that I did to be able to live below my means was get a living space that wasn't too costly for me. Unfortunately for me, I was able to get in at the right time, but the principle is still the same. Get you a space where you're not going to be spending over 50% or maybe even up to 50% of your monthly income. to be able to get to this place of financial stability within the period of time that you want to get to it, you need to be able to understand this principle of living on less than you make. The misconceptions that a lot of people have is you need to sweat the little things, like, not buying a cup of coffee, or, let's say you go to Walmart and you see a t-shirt that you like that is $10 and you decide not to get it because you're trying to live on less than you make. No, that's not it. The goal is not sweating the little things, but being very particular about the expenses that you make on the bigger things, because those are the things that are going to cost a huge influence on your financial journey. Now, the third thing that I did as someone that wasn't able to afford a $20 meal to be able to afford $1,020 meals was paying myself first. I started investing in the stock market. So there are two categories of people. You have the poor people and the rich people. Poor people think that the primary purpose of money is to spend money. And then you have the rich people. The rich people believe that the primary purpose of money is to make more money. So if you're someone that's trying to level up in your financial status, you should understand that the primary purpose of money is to make more money. So you should cultivate an attitude and a lifestyle of paying yourself first. That is setting money aside from each of your paychecks or your monthly paycheck to be able to invest in the stock market. And if you're someone that wants to learn how to invest in the stock market, I'm going to put a link in the description for you guys so you guys can understand the process and the steps to take to be able to start investing in the stock market. But yes, you need to start paying yourself first. The next thing I did to move from not being able to afford a $20 meal to be able to afford $1,020 meals was building up an emergency fund. This is super important and is something that everyone needs to have, because life happens, difficult situations are going to come up, and you don't want to be in a situation whereby you borrow money just because you're trying to pay up some bills. So you need to be able to build up an emergency fund that's going to account for your bare bones expenses, things that you can barely live without, right? So that's your rent. If you have a car payments. I don't have a car. If you have a job within your city, I don't think that you necessarily need to have a car yet, but for convenience, sure, why not? So recommendations for an emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your bare bones expenses. Now, a lot of people feel like you can't build up an emergency fund and invest at the same time, but I believe that you can do both. Think about it. You have a lot of items sitting in your house that you barely use. You can sell off those items, and whatever money that you get from that could go into your emergency fund. You have a lot of payments and services that you barely use, or things that you really could care less about. Maybe you're paying too high for your phone bill, or you're paying for monthly subscriptions on Netflix and all these different streaming platforms, or Spotify. You can find a way to get it cheaper from friends and family, or cut them off if you don't necessarily need them. And whatever money that you get from maybe selling off old items, or maybe getting old items from your friends and family and selling those items off, then you could use that money to fund your emergency account. The next thing that I did to be able to get to the place that I am currently financially was investing huge lump sums. So in Canada, where I currently reside, we usually get something every year, and it is called tax refunds. Now, these tax refunds could go up to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And if you're unlucky, it could be in the negative. If your tax refunds are in the negative, then this particular step is not going to apply to you. But for most people, they're going to be able to get some money back from the government. Now, what you do with those huge lump sums is so important. But most people will be like, oh my God, yeah, I just got free money. But that's not actually true, because it's not really free money. It's money that the government actually owes you. That's a topic for another day. Anyways, most people will see that as free money and then spend all that money on stupid things that don't add value to their lives, things that make no sense. And I'm guilty because I've done it before. So I'm not trying to shade anybody. I'm just pointing out reality. What you have to do is invest huge lump sums, because if the government never gave you back the money, you wouldn't have had it in the first place regardless. So see it as money that you basically don't have, if that makes sense. So the moment that that money comes into your account, every bit of that money needs to be invested. So let's say you want to treat yourself out to something nice. Let's say you get $3,000 or $4,000, then you could take $500 and do something nice. But 95% of that money, 90% of that money minimum needs to go into investments. Now, you don't have to agree with this step, but these are the things that I did to be able to get me from a place of not being able to afford a $20 meal to be able to afford $1,020 meals easily if I wanted to. Now, the next thing that you want to do is look for extra sources of income. So let's say you've had a business idea that you've been wanting to try out for some time. Start it. What's the worst that can happen? Or let's say you don't have any business idea. Hint, hint. Read the book, Million Dollar Weekend by Noah Kagan. There are so many different things that you can do to earn extra income on the side. There's no excuse that anyone has for not making extra income in this current day and time because we have so much resources available to us. The mistake that a lot of people make is not using the thing in between their ears, which is called a brain. Most people don't think. Most people, all they do is work, and not do the most important thing, which is actually think. Thinking is a skill that I believe that every single person should develop to be able to make extra income on the side. And the final thing that I did to be able to go from not being able to afford a $20 meal to be able to afford $1,020 meals was repeating the process. You need to repeat the process. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. The process is not going to be the easiest thing. It's not going to be the most appealing thing. But if it was appealing, every single person would do it. Now, there's some people that have watched halfway through the video and thought that this was going to be like maybe a get rich quick scheme, but that's not the case. If you're someone that's still watching this far, then I believe that you're somebody that wants to take control and wants to take charge, and someone that wants to move your finances from the place that you are currently to the place that you envision yourself being. So if that's you, you need to be somebody that's committed to the process. It's gonna take time. My entire journey took me a period of a year, but during that time, it took a whole lot of sacrifice. But when you're able to create systems that can help you, for example, maybe automating your investments every week or every month, it'll make the journey a whole lot easier. Anyways, I hope that this video was able to help a whole bunch of people out because these are the steps that I personally took to get me from not being able to afford a $20 meal to be able to afford $1,020 meals in a space of just 1 year. And if I was able to do this, not having the most knowledge about money at the age that I started, then I believe that you watching this video can change your life and move your life and level up your life to the place that you want it to be financially. If you've watched the video so far and you found value in the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.